Okay, untenable. Untenable, which means 10. 10 means a big number, not 1. So, which is 10 is stronger. So, untenable means weak. Okay, the argument is untenable, which means the argument is weak. The government's position is untenable, which means the government's position is very weak. Next word is untented. Untented some sounds like unattended. Yes, like unattended, it is neglected. Untented means neglected or not cared for or not looked for. Okay, untented gravestones, which is not cared for gravestones. Okay, next is unthinkable, which is like unimaginable. It was unthinkable that he is dead now, but it is the truth. Okay, next is unthinking, which means they are not thinking about us, which means they are uncaring or they are unkind or they are not thinking about that. So they are basically careless. So one meaning is they are not caring and they are not kind. Okay, so uncaring and unkind. She is an unthinking woman, which means she is not a kind or caring woman. Next meaning, so two meanings, one is unkind and uncaring. Next is careless. She is kind and caring, but careless. One is caring, another is careless. Okay, unthinking sparkling of salt over food. She just sparkled carelessly and it fell on food. Unthinking sparkling of salt over food. Next is untidy. Untidy means messy and disorganized. The place is untidy. Untidy girl. Okay, which is she's a very disorganized or messy girl. Next is untie. Untie means unfasten. Okay, untie your shoelace. Very formally, untie means untie the bond between two countries. Okay, not bonded, they are just taken off the bond. Okay, so German untied the credits to Russia, which means earlier they had a bond, now they removed the bond. Next is until. Until means up to or till. Okay, until October I was working, or until 1998 I was working. I was working until night. So everything means until. Next is untimely. Untimely means very inappropriate. Okay, or done at an unsuitable or inappropriate time. His untimely return, because he returned at night 1 o'clock. Okay, that is first meaning, which is very inappropriate time or unsuitable time. The second meaning is of a death or end happening too soon or sooner than normal. Okay, it is an untimely death, which means it's untimely death means that did it happen in a ungodly hours or very unsuitable hours? No. Untimely death means actually usually death happens at 60 plus or 70 plus years, but he passed away at a very young age or like 20 or 30. So that will be considered as an untimely death, which means of a death or ending happened too soon or sooner than the normal timing. Okay, next is unto. Unto is an archaic word which has two meanings. First meaning is archaic term for to. For example, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, which means do to others as you would have them do to you. The second archaic term, the second meaning is it is the archaic term for until. Okay, marriage was forever unto death. This is an archaically used term, but normally we say marriage was forever until death. So unto means obviously two. Unto means it is split into two. Okay, un and to. For un it is until, archaic term for until. For to it is the archaic term for to. So unto is used for both until and for to. Next is untold. Yes, untold means undisclosed. No event is left untold. Everything was told. Or it has another sense of meaning. It is limitless. Okay. I told this is the limit, but untold means it's limitless. Untold damages, which means I don't know, it is too much. So that kind of untold damages or untold billions. He has untold billions, which means too much or limitless. Okay, so untold means yes, you did not told, or it is very too much, I cannot count and tell you. So untold has two meanings. Next is untouchable. Untouchable is not able to be touched or affected. Okay, for example, Shereen's intelligence cannot is untouchable, which means it's it's not affected by God's grace, touch wood, but actually they are rich and legally untouchable. If you filed a case against them, we cannot, they will not be affected. So they are legally, the rich people are legally untouchable. That is one meaning for untouchable. The second meaning for untouchable is low caste. Hindu people are also called Hindu group, which is, if you say this right now, if they are untouchables, then you will be severely affected by the society. But basically in olden days, the low caste Hindu group are called untouchable, which is a derogatory thing to say now. Next is untowards. Towards you're walking something means you're expecting something. So untowards means unexpected. Okay, they try to behave as if nothing untoward has happened. They try to behave as if nothing unexpected had happened. Okay, next is untried. If you try something, you get experience. So untried means inexperienced. You haven't tried, so no experience. So untried means inexperienced. Untried actors, okay, which means inexperienced actors. Or else untried also means of an accused person not yet subjected to a trial in court. Okay, untried prisoners. He is a prisoner, but untried, yeah, he has not taken to the trial yet. He is still in the jail. From jail he has to be taken to the trial in the court. So they are untried prisoners, and maybe the other one are tried prisoners, I don't know. Untruth means a false or a lie. Okay, story full of misleading and untruth, which means the story is full of false informations. Next is UNU. Okay, unusual. Yes, uncommon. Unusual sight of you doing work. This is so unusual of you, which means it's not common. Next unusual meaning is it's so unusual and good. Okay, which means remarkable or interesting because different from or better than others. A man of unusual talents. So one is you're doing something different, or another is a person who is different from others. A man of unusual talents, unusual voice. Next is unutterable. Unutterable means too great or too awful to describe. Okay, it's so great grief. It is an unutterable grief. I cannot say that in words. Okay, it's so boring. It's too great to describe, that boring. So it's an unutterable boredom. It's so happy. It's beyond words. I cannot say. It's so too much happy. So it is an unutterable joy, which means unutterable grief, unutterable joy, and unutterable boredom. So two things in sadness: unutterable grief, unutterable boredom, and unutterable joy. And the next sense of meaning is unutterable criticisms, which means too awful, very bad criticisms I got today. So basically unutterable is for sadness mainly, and also for happiness. Next is UNV. UNV has unvarnished. Okay, varnish, that something that gives a glossy appearance. Unvarnished means not covered with varnish. Okay, unvarnished woodwork, which means it's not covered with varnish. It is not only for wood, it is also for person. Can you believe? Because unvarnished means it's not only for wood. Unvarnished is also used to describe person, because if you're straightforward, you can, or if it is a straightforward thing, if it is a straightforward person, or if it is a straightforward thing, you can say it is unvarnished. For example, tell me the unvarnished truth, which means the straightforward truth. Okay, next is unvarying. Varying means changing, so unvarying means not changing, it is constant or uniform. The unvarying routine of students' life, which means it's not going to change, it's not going to vary. The final thing is unveil. Unveil means remove a veil. They unveiled a statue, or show or annoyance publicly for the first time. Show or announce publicly for the first time. That is, all these days it was veiled as a secret. Now you are showing or announcing publicly. So that is also called unveiled. Okay, he unveiled his plans to find out the crime. So basically it is with a veil, literally with a veil you unveil a statue, or imaginarily you unveil a secret plan publicly. That is also called unveil.